Dr. Narendra Yadavji, I am in the same position. You have only 2 minutes. What do I do? You are such a learned person and you may have to speak a lot of things. What do I do? You speak, you take in 5 minutes, 5 minutes you finish your speech. Okay. Yeah. No, I also know the compulsion, what to do. He's a
Thank
experienced
you.
learned person.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir.
Yeah.
This subject is very close to my heart, sir.
I know that, that's why I said I am apologetic.
Sir.
Yeah, I really
And as
feel.
a member of Planning Commission in UPA 2, in charge of education and skill development, and as the Vice Chancellor of the largest university in India, that is University of Pune, I would like to offer some comments, and I crave your indulgence, sir, to allow me 5 minutes to
5
make
minutes, okay.
a rapid fire presentation.
Yeah. 5 minutes I am allowing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, at the very outset, I would like to commend Honorable Minister of HRD, Shri Javadekar, for bringing this document for discussion in the House. That said, it may be noted that this is not the draft New Education Policy 2016. It is only a document titled Some Inputs, with accents on some inputs for draft New Education Policy, which solicits further inputs from the House. This input draft apparently is based on an expert committee report, which in turn was based on extensive countrywide consultations. Sir, several distinguished speakers have made very valid points in this discussion, especially, and I agree wholeheartedly with many of these arguments, especially about balancing access, quality and equity holistically, also raising the public expenditure on education to 6% of GDP in a time-bound manner, and not mixing philosophy with theology. Sir, while I associate myself with many of these arguments, I would resolutely disassociate myself with the suggestion that was made in this House that this input draft should be thrown into garbage. This input draft is far from being...
I think nobody has said that. Eh?
Kapil Sibal, Honorable Member Kapil Sibal said that. So this input draft is far from being a perfect one, but it is a very good starting point. Let us constructively engage and build on this draft. Sir, my main problem that I have with this document is that this input draft is elaborate in areas to be addressed in the new education policy, but it does not go into the specifics in several areas, so one doesn't know what specific shape and form that many proposed interventions would take in the new education policy. And this constrains the ability of commentators to give specific further inputs. Within these constraints, I would like to offer the following comments. First, the vision and mission of education that comes out of the input document in terms of the long-term objectives of education includes making children aware of India's rich heritage and glorious past, and promoting values such as peace, tolerance, secularism, national integration, and so on. That is fine as far as it goes. But I am indeed appalled to find that the input draft seemingly does not include the values of social justice, equality, and egalitarianism, which is enshrined in the Indian Constitution. To my mind, sir, several educationists worldwide have emphasized that the vision and mission of education must include dimensions such as how to learn to know, how to learn to do, how to learn to be, and how to learn to understand and live together with others. And this must be done promoting the values of liberty, equality, fraternity, and social justice that has been enshrined in our Constitution. Sir, it took us 60 long years to operationalize the directive principle of state policy in respect of providing free and compulsory elementary education and free and compulsory elementary education for all children between the ages of 6 to 14. The Constitution We gave ourselves the Constitution in 1950, and the Right to Education Act came in 2010. That was 60 long years. And it was indeed a landmark legislation that we are all proud of. Regrettably, however, sir, the input draft represents a dilution or even departure from the Right to Education Act. I can give many examples, but I would like to confine myself in giving only two.
Already 5 minutes.
Only final point, one more minute,
Okay,
sir.
okay.
The two very obvious departures or deviations from the Right to Education Act, one of them is that the draft new education policy, I mean, whatever input draft is there, it recommends the introduction of flexibility in the Right to Education Act and suggests that norms could be recalibrated to suit the local conditions. I think this is a direct assault on the very essence of the Right to Education Act. And one more example, the input draft, it recommends introduction of centralized kitchen for providing the midday meal. That happens on page 32. The centralized kitchens are not appropriate, sir, for rural and semi-urban areas where food is frequently not fit to be eaten by the time it reaches the ultimate consumer. That freshly cooked meals are preferable for children's health and well-being has been recognized and mandated to be compulsory by the Supreme Court of India, and therefore there should be no deviation from this policy.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.